About $30 a month. That's the entire startup cost of a real YouTube channel in 2026. No camera, no studio, and your face never has to appear anywhere. The single biggest reason most people never start a channel, being nervous on camera or not owning any gear, just quietly disappeared. So here's the strange part, and it's the whole reason for this video. That cheap, no camera, do-it-fast setup is also exactly what got a wave of channels wiped off YouTube this year. Same tools, opposite outcome. The difference comes down to one single thing. And I'm not naming it until you've watched the whole machine actually work.
K here, and let's define the word first, because beginners trip on it. Faceless just means you're never on camera. The video is your voice reading a script, laid over visuals. That's it. Nobody sees your face, and honestly, most viewers never even wonder about it.
Michael jumping in, and the setup is smaller than people picture. This is basically all of it. A computer, and maybe a microphone if you're using your own voice. No lights, no backdrop, no camera anywhere in the room. If you can type and click, you already own the studio.
And the visuals come in 4 main flavors. Screen recordings, like a tutorial. Stock footage under a voiceover. Animation or motion graphics. Or clean slides, the way a good explainer looks. Pick one lane, get good at it, and that's your channel.
I'm Liam, and here's the upside stated plainly. This erases the #1 thing that stops people, the fear of being on camera. You never have to perform. You just have to have something worth saying. But here's where beginners hear no face, cheap and fast, and they read it as easy money. That's the trap that gets people burned. Faceless is a format. It is not a push button. The channel still needs a real idea and a real point behind it.
That's the useful frame for the whole thing. No camera lowers the cost and kills the stage fright. It does not lower the bar on the thinking. You're trading a camera for a keyboard, not trading effort for a shortcut.
And here's the exact question under every beginner's search on this. People type, do I have to show my face or use my real voice to make money on YouTube? And the plain answer is no on both. Your face is optional, and a good AI voice can narrate for you. What's not optional is having a point of view.
So keep that frame as we go. And if you want the tools laid out for you, everything we walk through lives at grow.professorerica.com. A free directory of the exact tools by budget, plus step-by-step workflow guides you can follow along with. Coming up, the 5-stage pipeline every faceless video runs through, the one line that decides whether yours earns or gets wiped, and the real monthly cost added up in front of you.
So how does one faceless video actually get made? Every single one, no matter the topic, runs the same assembly line. Once you've seen it once, you see it in every video you watch. Let me put the whole thing on the board. 5 stages, start to finish. You find the idea, you write the script, you record the voice, you build the video, then you make the thumbnail and hit publish. That's the whole machine, and the rest of this series is really just 1 stage explained per video.
Start at the front because it's where beginners rush. Stages 1 and 2, the idea and the script. The idea is what you'll make, checked against what people actually search for. The script is where your angle goes in, your take, in your words. This is the human layer, and it's the part that can't be skipped. The script stage looks like this. You draft, you cut, you rewrite the opening 3 times until it hooks. AI can help you draft faster, but you're the editor deciding what's good and what gets deleted.
Let me stop you on stage 3, the voice, because this is where I see people panic. Isn't a robot text-to-speech voice exactly the kind of thing that gets a channel flagged as low effort?
Good instinct, Liam, and the answer is the difference between a robot and a narrator. A raw, default voice dumped onto a script sounds lifeless, and yes, that reads as low effort. A directed voice is different. You pick the tone, you fix the pronunciation, you pace it for meaning. That direction is the human touch, and modern AI voices are genuinely good when you steer them.
Then stage 4, you build the video. You assemble the visuals around that voice track, whichever lane you picked, screen recording, stock, animation, or slides. The voice leads, the visuals follow and reinforce it.
And stage 5 is the one people treat as an afterthought and shouldn't. The thumbnail and the title. That's what earns the click in the first place. A great video with a weak thumbnail is a great video nobody ever opens.
So that's the pipeline, and notice the theme. At every one of those 5 stages, you're the one making the call. Which idea, which angle, which take of the voice, which clip, which title. That judgment is the whole job. Which raises the real question, the one that decides everything. What separates a video that earns from one that gets wiped? One thing before the next part, and then we move right on. If any of this is clicking, tap that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for the next one. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it helps more than you would think.
Here's the word that decides whether your channel earns or gets deleted. Original. In July of 2025, YouTube renamed its policy to Inauthentic Content, and the whole thing turns on whether a human is genuinely in the work. And original doesn't mean fancy. It means a real creator brought something, a take, an explanation, a way of framing it that a viewer couldn't get by reading the source themselves. That's what a person adds, whether they're on camera or not. The opposite of that has a shape too, and it's the one that got wiped. Scrape an article, feed it to a default voice, slap it over generic stock clips, then do it again 50 times with no point of view anywhere in it.
And to be clear, none of those steps is banned on its own. AI voice, fine. Stock footage, fine. It's the combination with zero human judgment that's the problem.
So YouTube isn't banning the tools, it's banning the missing human.
Exactly that, Liam. And there's a one-line test that settles it every time. In your head, remove the AI from your video. Is there still a human idea, an angle, a real judgment call left standing? If yes, you're safe. If nothing's left, that's the replacement the policy shuts down.
Let me put the two side by side because your whole channel lives on which column you're in.
And the good news is that most faceless formats are built to keep a human in them. Analysis, where you explain what something means. Tutorials, where you teach a skill. Commentary, where the whole point is your opinion. Real explainers. In all of those, your angle is baked right in.
The danger zone is the lazy end of the spectrum. Pure list channels that are just stock clips over a robot voice cranked out on one template. Top 10 this, top 10 that, no take, no value. That's the format sitting closest to the line, and it's the one I'd steer a beginner away from.
So that's the dividing line, and it's not mysterious. Keep a real human idea in every video, and you stay on the safe side of the policy. Which leaves the question everyone actually clicked for. What does all this cost to start? So what does this actually cost to start? Not thousands, not hundreds. For most beginners, it's about the price of one dinner out a month. Let's add up the real bill, honestly, line by line.
Here's the thing that surprises people. There's really only one line you have to pay for, and that's a decent AI voice if you're not using your own. Everything else on the list has a genuinely usable free version.
Let me total the actual monthly stack. Start with the one paid piece, a solid AI voice tool. A popular one runs about $22 a month. Now the rest, script writing on a free AI tier, $0. Stock footage from a free library, $0. Video editing on a free app, $0. Thumbnails on a free design tool, $0. Every one of those has a real usable free plan. Add it up and your entire studio is about $22 a month. Call it 30 with one small upgrade. That's the whole cost of the machine we just drew.
And picture where all of that lives. Not a studio, not a rack of gear. It's a few browser tabs and one glowing laptop on your kitchen table. That's the entire operation.
Which raises the obvious follow-up. And, Liam, I have a feeling it's yours. Go ahead.
It is, so if all of that has a free version, is the totally free $0 version actually good enough to start with, or is that a trap?
Frankly, yes, the free stack is good enough to start, and I'd tell a beginner to begin there. The one real weak spot is the voice. Free voices are rougher, and a rough voice loses viewers fast. So the free path fits when you have zero budget and want to prove you'll stick with it. The moment you're consistent, that $22 voice is the first thing worth paying for.
And past that, a fuller stack around $50 to $80 a month buys you speed and scale, faster editing, better research tools. That fits someone already publishing every week who wants to move quicker. Don't pay for it on day one. You'd be buying speed you don't need yet.
One caution, whatever you pick, keep your stack swappable because these tools change fast. A big AI video tool called Sora got shut down this year, and anyone who'd wired their whole workflow around it was suddenly stuck. Lean on the skill, not on any one app.
So that's the cost, truth be told, $30 or less, and free if you're patient. Which leaves the last real question. Of all those camera-free formats, which one should a beginner actually pick? Because that choice is not obvious, and it's worth arguing about. So here's the argument worth having before you start. Of all the camera-free formats, which one should a total beginner actually pick? The wrong pick is where most people burn out and quit. Kai thinks you aim high with tutorials. Liam thinks you aim for whatever you'll actually keep doing. I'll referee this one. Kai, make your case.
Start with tutorials and how-to videos in a niche you already know. They teach something, so a human take is built right in. They tend to earn more per view, and they age well. Someone searches that same question for years. You're building an asset, not chasing a trend.
That's a great channel in month 12. My worry is month 1. Tutorials are real work. Scripting, screen recording, editing a demo. Most beginners quit before they ever get good at that. Yeah, I'd say pick the lowest friction format you'll genuinely keep up because consistency beats ambition every single time.
Back up a second, Kai. Before you answer the money, answer the burnout. If someone quits in month 2, your higher earning format earns exactly nothing. How do you beat that?
Fair, and I'll concede half of it. The trick is to pick a tutorial niche you're already fluent in, so the work isn't a slog. If you research every video from scratch, Liam's right, you'll quit. If you already know the subject, the scripting is fast and it stays fun.
Then let me name the format I'd actually hand a beginner. Commentary and analysis in a space you follow anyway. The friction is low, the way I want, but your opinion is the whole product, so it's original by default. Almost nobody can copy your take.
Only if you actually have a take.
Which is the catch. And it's a fair hit. With nothing to say, commentary collapses into a robot reading headlines. Love a sabotage is the whole moat. But if you genuinely care about the subject, the take comes easy, and that's your signal you picked the right lane.
So give me the beginner rule, 1 sentence each. Kai?
Pick a format in a subject you already know cold, so the work stays light and the quality stays high.
And pick the one you could really publish every week for 6 months without hating it. The best format is the one you don't abandon.
Then if I have to pick, and the policy actually backs it. The inauthentic content rule rewards formats with a built-in human angle and punishes the templated, no-opinion ones. So pick the format you can sustain weekly that forces your point of view in. For most beginners, that's commentary or a tutorial in a subject you already love. Steer clear of the pure stock slideshow list channel because it's the hardest to keep original and it sits right on the line that gets channels wiped. So here's the one line to carry out of here. The best faceless format isn't the fanciest or the highest paying. It's the one you'll still be making 6 months from now. Quick recap. Faceless just means you're never on camera. Every video runs the same 5-stage pipeline: idea, script, voice, video, thumbnail. It costs about $30 a month to start, or nothing if you're patient. And one rule decides it all: keep a real human idea in every video. You now understand how this works better than most who research it for a month, and that edge is yours.
The number to keep is the cost. One paid line, a voice, around $22, and free tiers for the rest. If anyone says it takes $1,000 of gear, they're selling you something.
The 5-minute move tonight. Pick your lane and write one video idea in your own words. That's stage 1, the human layer, day 1. And send this to the friend who keeps saying they'd start a channel if they didn't have to be on camera.
The catch-eyed flag. Faceless lowers the cost and kills the stage fright. It does not lower the effort. The channels that make it keep showing up with something to say.
Next up in the series, the money gets specific. In the next video, which faceless niche actually pays, because the niche you pick is a 10 times decision before you make a single video.
If this gave you the honest picture instead of the hype, hit like and subscribe because we're building this whole roadmap one stage at a time. And that free tool directory is waiting at grow.professorerica.com.
Here's the one we couldn't settle today, so tell us in the comments. Would you rather start with the easiest format you'll actually stick with, or the higher paying one that's harder to make?
Now take what you learned and go make it count. This is Professor Erica signing off.